Welcome back to part 2 of this playthrough of Red Dust Rebellion. Just about to take the Red Dust's turn, and they're going to do an operation with special activity. The next curiosity card is RDT. So let's go through the card. 2d6 less than or equal to the available Red Dust Rebels. So there's 13 available Red Dust Rebels over to my left. So that's a yes. Red Dust Rebel in any 2+ population space not active support. And then yes, so Shenzhou is not an active opposition, and there's 2 of them in there. We've also got Noctis Labyrinthus, and I think that's it. Only 2. So they're going to do campaigning, and they're going to shift towards active opposition. I'm not going to keep flashing up all the charts this time, but I'll just show you the end result. Okay, so the first one's going to be Shenzhou. We activate one of the rebels, but they're both active, so it doesn't matter. We shift 1 level towards active opposition. So we're going to put a passive opposition in there, which bumps up the opposition by 3 to 31. And now we're going to roll for Red Dust activation. So on a 1 and a 2 they stop. So 3, so they will carry on, and their next target will be Noctis Labyrinthus. So we're going to move this to active opposition. I'm going to flip this, no we're not, we're going to keep that one hidden because one of them's already active, and that is going to gain them another opposition. So they have to stop campaigning now because there's no more valid spaces. So they're going to draw a campaign card. So for their 5th campaign card it is Comms Cutoff. Communications with Earth cut. Logistics cannot select transit, and Corp Pass does not activate the Aldrin Cycler. Okay, fair enough. Running out of space for all these now, so I'm just going to pile them up there. We'll move on to the special activity. So with the special activity, the Red Dust movement are going to want to coordinate. But there's no displaced population left, so we're going to skip over the house and the repair. Going to go straight to using shift towards active opposition, and that means we need to have a space with a hidden Red Dust Rebel that is not currently at active opposition. So let me take this pawn off, and where are there some hidden Red Dust Rebels not active opposition? Tereshkova and Radau, I think that is it. So it's going to be most population, that's going to be Tereshkova. Okay, so Tereshkova is going to become passive opposition. It's going to give them 2 more here. So they're winning again. And unfortunately, the coordinate special activity is 2 spaces. So they're going to do the same thing in Radau. And they're going to shift that towards... or are they? Would they select Radau? Don't know, actually. Not active, most pop, fewest enemies. No, it would be Radau. Yeah, okay. So we're going to make this passive opposition. Going to activate this rebel here. And activate this rebel here. Oops, forgot to do that. Smashing all my Marskov troops. Okay, I think that's going to be it for the Red Dust movement. So moving on to the corporation, they're going to take the event. And the event says to remove 6 rebels total from any spaces. An equal number of Red Dust and Reclaimer rebels must be removed if possible. So we're going to do that via the remove or replace column. First of all, we're going to look for rebels at corporation bases, and again I keep forgetting to take the pawns off, but this is going to firstly be here in Shenzhou because there's a corporation base, 2 Red Dust Rebels. So we're going to remove 2 from Shenzhou, and then we'll move down the list. A conversion center. Yeah, we've got conversion centers in Ascreus Mons, in New Cordoba. So I need to decide between these 2 now. Do that randomly. 1, 2, 3, Ascreus Mons. 4, 5, 6, it's going to be New Cordoba. So it is removing it from Ascreus Mons. So I believe I remove the hidden rebel first. Yeah, rebels hidden and then active. But there's only 1 more anyway, so that's 2 from there. And then we would go down the chart again, and it would be New Cordoba, so let's take one of these rebels off as well. So there was 2 from Ascreus Mons, 1 from New Cordoba, so that's 3 Reclaimer rebels chosen, and 2 Red Dust rebels, so we need to choose another space that's going to give us a 3rd Red Dust rebel. So it'll be most population, well, most population, and then one with a rebel base in it. So most population is Shepherd and Gandhi. Shepherd doesn't have a rebel base, so it's Gandhi. So we remove one of these rebels as well. So that was 2 from Shenzhou, and 1 from Gandhi, 2 from Ascreus Mons, 1 from New Cordoba, and that's not bad. And that's it for the corporation taking the event. So we'll move these 2 to ineligible, and we'll bring back Mars Gov and the Reclaimers to be eligible. And we'll see what the next card's going to be. We'll bring down the Arteries of Mars, and the next event is going to be Satellite Network Updated. Still no dust storm, so it's coming soon. And Satellite Network Updated has a flashpoint value of 2, so that moves us to the flashpoint round. So now we're going to have to resolve another flashpoint round. We start off with the EarthGov controller, who is corporation. Sadly, I'm nearly there. Just one more to go. Although I'm on negative EarthGov, so it's probably sliding down rather than going up. So we move all pieces in transit to Phobos. Okay, so the population goes to Phobos. 4 EarthGov troops go to Phobos, and this Spec Ops goes to Phobos. Replace all population markers now on Phobos in displaced population. Excellent. Satellite markers on Phobos to orbit. Yep, sure. Increase Mars Gov resources by 3 for each supply marker now on Phobos. Well, there's nothing, unfortunately. And also, I'm sure one of these events reduces that amount. Move 1 population marker from Earth to transit if possible. It is possible. Now the EarthGov controller chooses 5 other pieces, including satellites and supply markers. So this is when we use the non-playing flashpoint round instructions card, and we use the non-playing corporation piece priorities table to determine which pieces are going to be moved. Placing and moving friendly pieces. So we want to move 5 of these. I mean, it should be fairly simple, right? It's going to be 3 Mars Gov troops and 2 supplies. We haven't got any corporate casualties. EarthGov confidence. Unfortunately, we slip down the track, and I'm not surprised, because I'm not doing a fantastic job of retaining the confidence of Earth. I wouldn't have any confidence in me. And then we add 4 Mars Gov. No, we don't. We add 4 EarthGov troops, except I can't. There's only 1 left, so it's going to be 1. 2 supply markers. 1 population. We reduce profits by 1 for each conversion centre in a desert, and there's 1 here. So profits go down by 1. They go down to 4. Now we'll do the Church of the Reclaimer. Dust storms. Remove all raging storms and flip approaching storms to raging. So we'll get rid of this one and this one. Europa has now got a raging storm, and so does Sharma. So we're going to roll for new approaching storms a number of times equal to the flashpoint value of the next event card, which is 2. So 2 more storms are coming. The first one's going to be in Ascreus Mons, and the next one's going to be New Cordoba again. Alright. Attrition and conversion. Unpopulated or raging storm. So there's no raging storm deserts. Unpopulated deserts without a coin base. Remove 1 Mars Gov troop and 1 security. Do we have any coin units in the desert where they're not with a base? No. Nothing to do there then. What about the rebels? I don't think so. In populated spaces with a conversion centre, place 1 rebel. Okay, so they get 1 rebel back in New Cordoba. I'll take these pawns off. And we put the flashpoint value back to 0. And then we're going to get on with the next round. And it's going to be me next. The Reclaimers still only have 0 assets, so they're not going to be able to jump ahead of me. I don't want them to damage Europa and Tereshkova any further, so I'm going to block them from taking the event. So again, I'm going to do an operation without special activity. And the event itself it looks like a corporation event to me. So I won't be taking that anyway. Okay, so I'm going to perform the op only. And I'm going to be taking a train action in Shenzhou again. And you may be thinking, why? Because you have tons of coin troops there. And the reason is, I'm going to do this for the pacification. So I'm not going to place any troops Therefore, it's free for me to train in Shenzhou. And I get to pacify in Shenzhou now. And I can perform a house. So I'm going to house this newly arrived population in Shenzhou, which has temporarily given the red dust even more opposition. However, I'm also going to pay, normally I'll pay 3 resources, but because of the general strike still in effect, it's going to cost me 4 resources. So I'm actually down to a single resource now. Oof. And that removes the passive opposition from that space. So that drops down this to 31. So the red dust movement are no longer winning. And also I get to flip EarthGov confidence to positive. I was considering assaulting in Tereshkova to remove these 2 rebels here, but that wouldn't have helped me out with the track. Red dust would still be in the winning position, and well, I need them to not be in the winning position. I need to win. So yeah, it's a real shame that satellite network updated has turned up when it did, because I would love to have passed and taken that next time, but if the dust storm turns up, and it's likely to, I mean, how many event cards have we had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So while it does sting not being able to take this event and going up 4 spaces on the Earth Government Confidence track, it just was never a viable move. This time it's Church of the Reclaimers, and they're going to take the limited operation. They are actually going to go for CRY this time. I don't think we've done CRY before. So let's have a look. 10 or more rebels on the map. Yeah, must be. We got 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's loads. Hidden rebels in any space with a vulnerable enemy base or no reclaimer control, and may perform special activity. I don't think they are going to perform a special activity because they're doing a limited op. So we're going to flip that over to CRYY. So reclaimer rebels in any space with support, opposition or population. Yeah, they're going to do some preaching. Preaching using place damage. So some populated spaces with the rebels. Let's take these pawns off again so we're not confusing matters. I'm just going to do the pawns and remove them one by one again. Populated spaces with rebels. Here is a rebel. New Cordoba, obviously. Sharma. I think that's all of the ones that we've got. Okay, where are we going first? So placing damage. One with the most support. So they're both at... well, I guess it's New Cordoba, right? Because that's at the most support in as much as it's least opposition. So we're going to choose New Cordoba. That's the first choice. And then Preaching neutralizes support and opposition and recruits rebels. So we activate a Reclaimer rebel, if none are active, but some are. Shift 1 level towards neutral. So we do that. So we remove the passive opposition, which drops the Reclaimers down to 29. Place rebels equal to population. Place CR rebels equal to population. So that's 2. So placing 2 rebels. There's no population marker there. Therefore, we place a damage and set EarthGov negative. Oof. Right, so when we place a damage, that's going to go on the port. So that means there's one more displaced population marker going on. And now we will roll for activation. So 1, 2, and 3, they will stop preaching. So 3, they actually do stop. Okay. Then they'll move on to a special activity, but they're doing a limited operation. So no special activity for you, Reclaimers. And I believe they now increase their asset total by 1 for every damage they put on there. So they go up to 1 asset. Okay, so I've done a little bit of housekeeping with the edge track. I think total opposition and bases should have gone up 1. I must have missed a base somewhere. And I've dropped my total support down, and CR controlled and bases is 6. I'm going to take these pawns off now, because that is the Reclaimers go over. Move Mars Gov and the Reclaimers to ineligible, which means Red Dust and Corporation are eligible. Bring down the satellite network updated And we'll turn over the next event, which is the tubes. So the dust storm is going to be the event after the tubes. Alright, that's cool. That doesn't change anything anyway. I still needed to not play satellite network updated because this could have been the dust storm and then the Reclaimers could have won. And to be fair, they're only 3 away from winning anyway, so we're going to try and see what we can do to stop them from progressing too far. Not sure. So we move the flashpoint marker up 2 and let's get playing the satellite network updated. So first up are the red dust movement. We'll go down the MP eligibility table again, and they're going to perform an operation with special activity. And we'll go through the curiosity deck again until we find RDS. So look at this, red dust rebels in 2 or more populated spaces not at active opposition. Yeah. Hidden red dust rebels in any space with a vulnerable enemy base. Vulnerable enemy base. No, they are not. So we'll flip this card over, and what a surprise, they're going to campaign, Bane of My Life campaigning, populated spaces with red dust rebels. Okay, we're going to do shift towards active opposition. So not active opposition, most population. So the most population where they've got a rebel that's not active opposition. Well, you know what, I might just put the pawns out for the ones where they've got some rebels and they're not an active opposition, because they've been doing a very good job of enraging the population against Marsgov. So there's not actually too many places where they're not in active opposition. I think we've just got these 4. Europa, Tereshkova, Sinai Planum, Radau. Oh, Daedalus Planum. Yeah. So ones that are not active opposition I've already omitted. The ones at most population is Tereshkova, I suppose. Alright, fine. Tereshkova, we're shifting towards active opposition up by 2. Another campaign card is going to be Mothers of Mars. Martian mothers protest the loss of innocent lives. Each labyrinth selected for assault also shifts 1 level towards active opposition. Yikes. This game seems loaded against Marsgov. Just saying. Right, activation roll. 1 and a 2 they stop. 6 they carry on. So it won't be Tereshkova, so I'm just going to put a plain wooden pawn there so I don't reselect it like a woolly. Right, most population again, what have we got? I think other than Radau, they're all the same. Most support is Europa. So Europa's next. Here we go. Passive support. Now I've lost yet another support. And let's try again. 6 again. Fine. I'll replace you with a wooden pawn. Now we have to choose between Daedalus Planum and Sinai Planum. And we do that with fewest enemy forces. They do not have any forces, so that is the same. So we're going to choose 1, 2, 3, Daedalus, 4, 5, 6, Sinai, Daedalus. So, oops, active opposition, that goes up 1 more. So it looks like Red Dust are about to win, which is a bit of a shame. We'll see if they stop now. 1 and a 2, so 3. So they carry on. And they'll swap this one. There's another one. Are you carrying on? Yes, you are. Good lord. That's going to be Rado again. Well, that's going to be Rado. Talking about again, but it's just again. No more opposition for that though, because you're out of places. I'll change you up for a wooden coloured one. So 1, they stop. Okay, so that was a really unfortunate round actually. More so the fact that it's not even finished. They're going to move on to a special activity now. They're going to do a coordinate. House, which they can do now using place population. Okay, place population. Most opposition, most rebels. Most opposition with most rebels is going to be Shepherd, but they can't because it's full. So I guess the next one would be I mean, Gandhi would be next, but again, that's maxed out for population. So I'm thinking it's going to be Noctis labyrinthus. Surely it must be. Yeah. So we're going to take this displaced population, we're going to put it in Noctis labyrinthus, which bumps them up by another 2. EarthGov confidence is already negative. So that's it for the red dust movement. And then next up we're going to have the corporation. So I think the corporation are going to do a limited operation. I was looking at the non-playing eligibility table, and the 5th row for the second eligible says the acting faction will be first eligible on the next event if they pass. And that is true, they will be first eligible, but they don't perform it. So I'm going to take that as they're not. But as we are instructed to take everything literally, they are going to be first eligible, and therefore they are going to pass. Now, do they activate the Aldrin cycler? I don't remember. I don't think so. I think there's something here. Here, comms cut off. Logistics cannot select transit, and Corp Pass does not activate the Aldrin cycler. So that's a shame, but never mind. So we have got Corporation, MarsGov and Reclaimers eligible, and the Dusters are ineligible. So the Tube's going to be performed, and the next card is, big surprise, a Dust Storm. So this is, it's essential to knock the red dust movement down to 32 on the edge track, or they're just going to win. No one else is at a winning position yet, so it's just the red dust. It was so far ahead. I must have done an extremely bad job of keeping them in check. Oh, I mean, I have, haven't I? I'm doing so badly in all of these labyrinths. I'm not sure I could have done much more. I was doing my best, and they just seem to be spreading all over the place. Let's see what we're going to be doing. So corporations first eligible, and they're going to do an operation and special activity. So we'll go through the curiosity deck until we find a corporation card. Corp K, any available corporation bases, yes. Assault could remove an enemy base or 2 or more rebels. I don't think so. So return that over. Desert without corporation bases and reachable by corp units. Yeah, but I forgot that the Haboob is now in effect, so no one's going to be reconning anywhere. So the Corp KK card is going to the bottom of the pile, and we're going to pick the next one. Corp M, EarthGov confidence greater than 4. No. We keep looking. Corp H, at least 2 populated spaces with Corp bases. Corp forces greater than MarsGov and no damage. Well, we got 1 here, and that's it, because the others are damaged. So that's a no. So we pick out Corp G. Any non-terraforming corporation bases in deserts? Yes. An assault could remove an enemy base? No. So we flip that over. They're going to do a special activity. I forgot to move their piece. And their special activity is going to be public relations. They can't repair because there's no free population in the displaced populations box. They can't house either. So I guess they're going to go exploit instead of public relations. Going to gain some profits in up to 2 spaces with a corporation base with no damage and more corporation forces than MarsGov forces. So that is in Marth. So they increase profits by the population, which will be 1. So they have 5 profits now. I guess that's it for special activity. So they're going to do logistics. They get to upgrade 1 base using place or update bases. Most corporation forces. Most corporation forces will be between Hellas Chaos, Truvelo, and Marth. A labyrinth with a corporation greater than MarsGov. No. Most support. I think they're all at neutral, yeah. Fewest rebel forces. There's no rebel forces in any of them. So it's going to be a random selection. So do the usual. I'll say Truvelo is 1, 2. Marth is 3, 4. Hellas Chaos is 5, 6. It's Hellas Chaos. Okay. So they're going to upgrade this to a terraforming base. 2 or more dust storm rounds remaining. Yes, upgrade additional bases using place or upgrade bases. Okay, well. Let's choose between Truvelo 123 and Marth 456. Truvelo. So Truvelo is terraforming, and that would have cost them 3 resources, 3 profits. So they're down to 2 profits, which means they can't afford to upgrade another base. So now we're going to place 4 corporation units on Earth. That means it's going to be 4 security on Earth. We resolve the Aldrin Cycler. I'm trying to understand the Corp GG card. It says, resolve the Aldrin Cycler, no population to transit. Okay, that's fine. But the comms cutoff card says logistics cannot select transit. Okay, so after looking into the rules, I'm actually going to skip step 4 of resolving the Aldrin Cycler because it's an illegal instruction. And I'm just going to move straight onto this little star, place security using place cubes at corp bases. So let's take these pawns off. Let's say corp bases with 0 to 3 cubes. This one has 0 to 3. That one had loads of them, so I'm not sure what I'm doing there. So I think it's just this one. I'm going to stick an extra cube in Marth. And that costs 1 profit, so corporation profits are now at 1, and we stop. So next we have, well, it's either me. Yeah, it's me. Okay, what am I going to do? I forgot to roll for the Reclaimers initiative. I don't think they could have jumped into first place anyway, so I'm sure the corporation would have gone. But they may be able to go second, so let's see if they are going to jump ahead of Marskov. So that's a 1, 2 and a 4. Okay, so the Reclaimers actually discard their final asset and jump ahead of Marskov. So they're going to perform a limited operation. Okay, the Reclaimers are going to attack, and let's just take this pawn off from last time. And they're going to be choosing spaces at support or opposition. So let's just put these pawns out now. Got this one here, Noctis Labyrinthus. Got Radau here. I think it's just, oh, and this one, Tharsis Tholus. I think they had a 3. So I guess we'll walk through the checklist again. So they're attacking vulnerable enemy bases. So that is all of them. No Reclaimer control. That's all of them. Most bases the same. So that's all of them again. One that's at most support. So we've got active opposition, neutral. This one. So I'm going to swap Tharsis Tholus with a wooden coloured pawn, so I don't get confused. That's our first one we're going to do. We're going to activate this rebel. We're going to roll 2 dice. Is 6 equal to or less than 1? No. They're both 3. Is 3 equal to or less than 1? No. And then because it's the Reclaimers, they're going to choose to do another space. With most population is Noctis Labyrinthus. So we will not activate the rebel because it's already active, but we will roll these dice again. So nothing happens. Now we need to roll for activation. So a 1, 2 and a 3, they stop. 4, so they carry on. So they're going to activate this rebel here. A roll. 1 and a 3. Okay. The sum is not equal to or less than the total forces. It never will be because there's only 1 doing it. So we don't place any damage, but each die result equal to or less than the number of rebels, which is 1, removes 2 other enemy forces. So I think that has removed this rebel and this base, which would drop this down to 35, but that is not enough. Actually, I'm not even sure we do that. Okay, so I think I did that slightly wrong. I don't think I should have picked Tharsis Tholus because it is not at support or opposition, but Noctis Labyrinthus is, and so is Radau. So I'm going to just take that back. Not that anything changed other than flipping the Reclaimer Rebel, but I think what I did in Noctis Labyrinthus and in Radau stays. So we've done support or opposition, we've done 3 or more rebels, and where all the rebels are already active. So that is the end of that turn. That means He's moved to ineligible. Duster's become eligible. And we'll take this off. Take this off. Take this off. And we will bring in the dust storm. Well, we'll quickly do the dust storm round. I mean, it'll be extremely quick because we don't have any corporate casualties, we don't have any EarthGov casualties, and we don't have any displaced population penalties. So all we're going to do is check to see which faction has met its victory conditions. And the only faction that has is the Red Dust movement, because they have 35 total opposition plus bases and they only needed 33. I didn't get to take my final go. The Reclaimers jumped in front, and while they did remove one of the Red Dust bases, that only dropped their total opposition plus bases down by 1, which was not enough. And I'm not even sure I could have done anything anyway because I was out of resources. I found that a very difficult game, actually. I thought I was going to be playing not well, but not badly. I feel like these campaign cards were just a killer. I think this Transport Workers one, Maglev Shutdown, I think that came out very early on, and that properly prevented me from moving about to Shepherd and Tereshkova and into New Cordoba. I couldn't relocate my units very easily, and that allowed the Red Dust to just take control of Shepherd and Tereshkova. I lost Sharma and Gandhi. Well, I don't think I ever lost them. I don't think I ever had them. I had no opportunity to get hold of them. I did fight back in Shenzhou, but that was it. Mothers of Mars came out, so that was going to make assaulting very expensive. The comms cutoff prevented the Aldrin Cycler. Making secure operations was going to cost 6 resources for legal injunctions. And the General Strike just made everything more expensive. Yeah, these, I think it's death by 1,000 cuts with those campaign cards. It's difficult enough. I find this coin game difficult enough as it is. The video itself is fairly long, but what I've cut out is probably triple, quadruple the amount of time checking the rules just to make sure I've done it right. I'm not even sure I've done it right, if I'm honest. But yeah, thanks for watching me have a go at trying to win Red Dust Rebellion as MarsGov. I crashed out at the first dust storm. I never said I was any good at the game. But thanks for watching.